Hey, how's it going, guys? It's SSR here, and I'm going to be working on a radiation defender. So, today I'm going to be actually talking about a little bit how to pick your powers, why you should choose these specific powers, and we're going to go a little bit in depth with this build so that we can understand a little bit better why we're picking what. Okay? So, we're going to start by picking Radiation Aura. You know, you want to have that heal for everybody else. Next, I'm going to select Accelerate Metabolism. Now, it's up to you what you want to pick at level 4. I tend to pick my travel powers a little bit earlier. I'm going to actually go a little bit different on this route. I'm going to go with my travel powers a little bit later. So, let's go with, if you want another attack, Radiate Ground is fine. Radiation Infection is fine as well. It's up to you. I'm gonna probably go with a Radiate Ground. And level 6, I normally like to take Hasten. And level 8, you could probably start taking Innervating Field. 10, let's go with Combat Jumping. 12, I'm going to wait for Lingering Radiation. I'll probably take Radiation Infection. And then at 14, Super Jump. Alright, make sure you get Proton Volley. That's going to be one of your best attacks. Proton Volley is your main damage dealer. Alright. After Proton Volley, you can go ahead and take Lingering Radiation. I personally like to take Super Speed at level 20. 20 and below is normally my aim for it. And then Aim. Want something to help you with that damage boost. And now I'm really not going to worry about these other powers. I'm going to start with the Fighting Pool. Oh, make sure you get Cosmic Burst. That's one of your best attacks as well. Go ahead and go with Tough and Weave when you can. EM Pulse, that's a good one to stun them and hold them in place. Do not take Neutron Bomb. The cast time on it is 1.67, but it's just annoying to use. I do not like that power. Electron Haze also 2.37 seconds, extremely long. Now, the reason I picked Neutrino Bolt over X-Ray, even though you don't have really a choice, Neutrino Bolt actually comes out a lot faster. It does a little bit more damage than X-Ray overall, damage per animation. So stick with Neutrino Bolt. Keep what you have. At 35, I normally like to take the armor set from the Epic Pool, so I'll go with Charged Armor. 38, get Atomic Blast, that's your nuke. And let's go with Maneuvers at 41, Tactics, Vengeance, and then Assault, because you don't need any other powers really. Mutation you could take if you want. Eventually, it's up to you. You could switch something out, but you know, most people have Awakens and Break Freeze to get out of stuff. Choking Cloud, it's not a very good power. It's a Mag 1 hold. It's just going to pull aggro onto you. You don't need that. Let the other people grab aggro if you're on a team. Mag 1s won't hold anything except for maybe minions. You could slot it with the Lockdown proc, but it's still not going to help you out that much. Fallout, you need somebody that's dead. It's not going to be a helpful thing unless you have Teleport. So, if you want, you also have other options for how you pick your travel powers, but definitely make sure you take Hasten. That's a must. You can change Super Jump into something else like Fly. Alright, so I'm gonna slot everything up, or at least put the slots on all the powers I think we need to slot up, and then we'll talk more. Okay, I slotted all the powers up. Now I'm gonna put some enhancements on them so that we can see which ones I think we need for whatever. So health, I'm going to always put the 3 procs that I like to use: Miracles, Numina, and the Panacea proc. Okay. Stamina, we're gonna go with the Performance Shifter and Mod. We can go with the Endurance Recharge one, and then the Endurance Chance for plus Endurance. And then the last one, I'm going to make the Power Transfer Heal one. Those procs, you want to keep them on those 2 powers. Radiation Aura, I'm going to do Preventative Medicine, all 6 of them. Gives a nice bonus with all 6 sets. You know, resistance, HP, endurance reduction, and recharge. You want all those. The extra fire cold resistance is just a plus. Neutrino Bolt, I'm going to put 2 of the ATO sets. The Defender's Defiant Bastion. I'm going to put just some basic ones, the damage recharge and the other damage endurance recharge. I'm going to split these 2 sets because it gives a nice bonus with 3% HP. So I'm going to put 1 on Neutrino Bolt. I'm going to put 2 on Proton Volley. I'm going to do the accuracy damage and the accuracy damage endurance. Okay. Remember, you want to make them superior, so I put those 2 there. And then finally on the other ATO set, the Vigilant Assault. For Neutrino Bolt, I'm actually going to put some accuracy damage, the damage endurance recharge, and the accuracy damage endurance. Alright. And then Atomic Blast, I'm going to go for the recharge ones. That's where I'm going to put the other 3. And also the proc. For chance for absorb. Why not? It's going to give a nice heal. I'm going to put some procs on there to increase the damage a little bit. Let's go with Touch of the Lady Grey for that negative energy damage. Some energy damage and the Armageddons for the fire damage. Alright. Accelerate Metabolism. I want that recharge, so I'm going to put some Nmod recharge and a accuracy recharge. You could go with the Nmod accuracy recharge. It's also an option because you're going to put some other recharges with performance shifters. I split it up into 2 different sets because I'm going after the HP bonuses. This one gives a 1.88% and this one gives 1.13%. Normally, like I always say on my builds, you want to get as close to the HP cap as possible. Right now, you're a little bit off from HP cap. I'm at 1,146. HP cap is at 1,606, which you can get from getting accolades and stuff. So, Irradiated Ground, I'm actually going to slot the 5 slots of Armageddons. If anybody ever notices how I do this, you just hit the wheel on your mouse and you can put each enhancement of the one you were working on before. The 6th slot, I'm going to put Gladiator's Fury, the resistance debuff one. Try to get that little extra debuff. It's nice. Hasten, obviously the recharge. That's good. Innervating Field, put as much endurance reduction as you can. This thing soaks up endurance. 1.04 is ridiculous. I'll just put the other endurance enhancements where I can. Normally on tactics I like to put Cytoskeleton, but go ahead and put an endurance. The Cyto is not going to make a huge difference. Alright, combat jumping. Start off by putting Luck of the Gamblers, Global Recharge. And I'd highly suggest, since you're putting it on this one, you can copy the same one by just hitting the wheel on your mouse and putting it on all the defensive powers that you are going to probably have Luck of the Gamblers on. Right now we got Combat Jumping, Weave, Maneuvers, and Vengeance. Alright, so those all have 4 Luck of the Gamblers total. You can have up to 5. 4 is what I can get in this build. Alright, and Combat Jumping, let's finish it up. I'm going to put a Knockback Protection on there. Some Blessings of the Zephyr. A Kismet. And finally, the Scaling Resistance from Reactive Defenses. It's going to help you on your resistance. Radiation Infection. I'm actually going to go for the 2-set bonus from Dark Watchers. I'm going to put the 2-hit endurance recharge just to get a little bit extra endurance reduction, and 2-hit debuff endurance. And to increase a little bit, possibly getting a little bit more of like a negative resistance, I'm going to put Achilles Heel. So that gives you a chance to reduce everybody's resistances. Super Jump, another knockback protection on there. Proton Volley, like I said before, this is your main damage dealer, so let's proc the heck out of this one. Let's I'm gonna put the Apocalypse. I like to put the Apocalypse at the end. The big one's always at the end. Toxic from Gladiator's Javelin. We want the Manticore, Sting of the Manticore for Toxic as well. And since we're Radiation, we can get some other sets. And I'm gonna go with Touch of the Lady Grey. We probably could switch the Toxic for Lethal, because actually Toxic is one of the most resistant types of damage in the game, actually. Lingering Radiation, I'm going to go with an Accuracy and 1 Recharge. Super Speed, I want more knockback protection. And also I'm going to put a increased movement and endurance reduction. Aim, go with Gaussians. I like to go for 2-hit buff recharge and the recharge endurance, just to try to increase your recharge as much as possible on it. And then the chance for a build up, so you get 2 build ups on one. Tough, we're gonna go with Unbreakable Guards. And make sure you get that proc in there, the plus max HP. Cosmic Burst, I'm just gonna go with Apocalypse, 5 slot it so you can get your 10% recharge. And some extra HP, it's nice. Weave, we're going to slot with Shield Wall. Defense Endurance Recharge, you want the defense one, and you want the resistance proc in there. There you go. You want those resistance procs to help you to increase your resistance as much as possible. So EM Pulse, you want to go with Unbreakable Constraint. Make sure you get the ones that are recharge. Get as many as you can in there with the recharge. And it's your choice, you can go with the hold or just endurance hold. I'm going to go with the endurance hold to drop the endurance cost on it. And then the proc, because it's going to proc. Trust me. This is a great power to have. It's almost like a second nuke. You could proc it out, but I want to keep the 10% recharge bonus from it. Alright, now for charged armor, I'm actually going to chase a little bit more HP with titanium coating. Oh. 3 sets, resistance endurance recharge, and resistance. And then I'm going to put the steadfast resistance defense to increase your defense a little bit more. And also the Gladiator's Armor proc, TP and plus 3% defense. Alright, let me turn these on. I always like to keep super jump on, combat jumping's on. And I'm going to keep those on because I want to see how much of endurance cost I'm going to have afterwards. Turn maneuvers, tactics, and assault on. Alright, maneuvers, once again, shield walls. A little bit of a different slotting than the previous one since you can't put 2 of the resistance procs. Okay, and there you have it. That's pretty much how I like to slot this build. This has all the stuff you need. You got the 10% recharges, up to 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Every 3 sets of the Vigilance give you 10%, so that's what I was chasing for that. Your Hasten is basically perma. Okay. No, it's not perma right now because I need to plus this to plus 5. And there you go. Hasten's at 117. Accelerate Metabolism is also at perma, way past perma. So those 2 together should be fine. You'll have all these attacks up pretty quickly. Alright, let's get our accolades so we can look at our HP. And there you go, 1552. Pretty close to cap. 1606 is cap, so we're only at 54, around there, 54 HP away from cap. Endurance looks weird right now because of the proc right here. For some reason, if you take it off, look, it fixes it. So if you notice something weird like that, just don't worry about it. It happens. But as you can see though, my endurance is amazing right now with this build. No problem at all. Okay. Incarnates. For this build, I went with Vigor Core. Get a little bit more accuracy on it. Destiny, you could go defense, get some more, get barrier if you would like. That's up to you. Incandescence Radial is always my to go. I'm pretty sure my defenses are going to be fine because I have debuffs for accuracy, the 2-hit debuff, radiation infection. That's going to increase my defense, so I'm not worried about it. Ion, Core, Hybrid, it's up to you. You can choose to be more of a support style, or you can be more of a damage style, which is, the damage style would be Assault Radial. That's going to give you more energy damage on your attacks. But the support, you could go support Core or Radial. If you want a little bit extra defense and more damage and buffs, I would say Core. Radial apparently is a little bit better for teams because it has a wider range. Core gives you a little bit of a stronger buff, and it also doubles the increase on pets. So it'd be good for lures and other pets if you're a mastermind and stuff like that. But for this one, I'm just going to go Assault Radial and get the extra energy damage on my attacks. Interface. You have two options. You can go Degenerative Radial for more toxic damage, but like I said before, most of the stuff in the game has a good amount of resistance to toxic, so I'm probably going to go Reactive Flawless for the fire damage. Fire is actually probably like the 3rd least resisted. Alright, and for the lore, always Banished Pantheon Core. The reason we go Core Banished Pantheon is because they do a little bit more damage and debuffs. Alright, that's everything set up. Let's go to the test server and test it out. Alright guys, I'm back. Everything's slotted back up. I got all my powers. If you look at the stats, they should pretty much match what's on here. Here, let me take the proc out real quick. Like I said before, once the proc comes off, the endurance pretty much matches what it is. Oh, hold on. There you go. See? Alright. So, I got all my incarnates. And we're good. Let's go in there and test the build. Alright, we're going to fight Battle Maiden, but first I'm going to try to fight these two groups together. I'm going to pull them together and see how we do. Alright, once again, make sure Accelerate Metabolism is activated. Use Radiation Infection first, then Enervating Field. Use Radiated Ground, Irradiated. Try to pull them closer to this mob if you can. See if they'll come over here. Keep them as close as possible. And then, what you can do is use Lingering Radiation. Click that aim. Atomic Blast to stun them. And deal a good amount of damage, of course. And then once the other mob comes over here, we can use EM Pulse as well to keep them all in place. There you go, we get some already. Let's just activate it now. I would suggest turning Super Speed, or if you have Sprint off as well. And if you do attack, keep attacking. Just watch your endurance a little bit. Try not to get caught by any stuns or too many things that will knock your toggles off, because you want to keep those debuffs off. Kill the weaker ones as soon as you can, so that they're dealing damage to you like the bosses will be. And look at that, my Atomic Blast is already up, so we could probably hit it one more time real quick. There you go, see? Killing the weaker stuff off pretty quickly. Any new ones, just kill them off slowly. And there you are. That's Pretty easy to do. Shouldn't have any issues with these guys. Just make sure you keep your powers up and watch your endurance. Spam those attacks. And like I said before, defender damage is a little bit harder to do, but it's definitely doable. You know, or their damage is not as good as a blast or a corruptor for that matter. You could definitely make this build into a corruptor if you want, but and when I say it's doable, I mean you can fight these groups and still kill them. It's just going to take a little bit longer than usual. Unfortunately, you know. So just spam your attacks until they're dead. That's what I like to do. The bosses are just so meaty and tanky. It's kind of hard to kill them pretty quickly. The real, like I said, your real damage is proton volley. So mainly what you gotta focus and use that power to kill them. And there you go. 2 groups. Pretty easily done. Alright, let's start with Battle Maiden. Use Radiation Infection. Enervating Field. And I suggest using Aim and then Lingering Radiation. Just to make sure it hits. But if you want to go with an attack first, you definitely can. Watch for the attacks. And just go ahead and burn them down. This might actually be easier than a boss for some reason. Watch for her attacks. They lower your defenses. So it's always nice to keep your distance if you can. That's what I like to do. And wait until her attack debuff is gone. And once it's gone, now you can go back in and then just spam whatever you want. Look at that. That's some crazy amount of damage. Alright. It's beautiful. Alright guys. I hope you liked the build. Please comment down below, let me know what you think, and if you have any questions or if you'd like me to work on a build for you, please let me know. I'll work on it and I'll try to post it within a good amount of time. Alright, thanks again, like and subscribe, and see you next time.